What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video. Today we're going to be discussing a pretty hot topic. This is something that people argue back and forth on Instagram underneath people's posts. Everybody wants to know, are acrylic toes good for you or are they bad for you? Okay, I really wanted to take a deep dive into the subject because even under my videos, people love to tell me why they're so bad for you, why they're so unhealthy. But I'm going to give you my honest opinion and I'm going to debunk some myths. So stay tuned. Before we go ahead and get into it, make sure you guys check the description for all of my coupon codes and my Amazon storefront link. Follow me on social media, subscribe, and turn your notifications on because you do not want to miss the things I have coming next. Okay. So I do want to let you guys know, this is not a tutorial. This is not a how to do acrylic toes, but this is going to be a visual to kind of accompany the fact that I'm talking about acrylic toes, and I may use this as a reference to go back and forth what I'm talking about. If you do need some in-depth tutorials, I definitely have those on my channel, and you can go ahead and find what you're looking for there. Now, I will be showing the color in just a second, so if you are interested in the color that I use on this client, do not skip forward, do not pass go, because it's getting ready to be shown. All right. So first thing is first, are acrylic toes bad for you? Right? That's what everybody swears by. Everyone says, oh, I don't like to get acrylic toes because, you know, that's nasty. They're so bad for you. The answer is no. Acrylic toes are not bad for you. And let me break it down why they're not bad for you, because people seem to think that getting acrylic enhancements itself is just the end of the world, that it damages your nails, right? But people will say, oh no, polygel on the toes, now that's the safer method. There is no safer method because everything is dependent on how the tech takes care of you, right? Because all of the prep, that doesn't go away. So it doesn't matter if you use builder gel, polygel, acrylic, any of that, right? The steps are the same. You still need to prep the client, which you've noticed. I have prepped my client in a timely manner. There are no rings of fire. There's nothing there that I have caused. There's no previous damage or anything like that. That's number one, right? If someone were to have some sort of previous damage, or if I did damage their toenails during prep, then yeah, I can see why somebody would be pretty upset and say why acrylic toes are bad for you. Most of the time when people are referring to if this service is bad for you, it's because they themselves have had horrible experiences or they know someone who has a horrible experience. And unfortunately, that kind of precedes what acrylic toes are for, right? It also, just acrylic in itself gets a bad reputation, which is why you'll hear people say, oh, I don't get my nails done anymore because, you know, acrylic is bad for your nails. And I'm constantly telling people, it's not the acrylic that is bad for your nails. You don't have to take a break from these services if you are going to somebody who is educated and knowledgeable in what they do and take pride in taking care of your hands, your feet, your nails, all of that, okay? Because realistically, I have clients who have been getting acrylic toes and been getting acrylic nails for multiple years now without specific breaks. Okay, so another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that, if you are ripping off your enhancements, then you are causing your own damage. Okay, so some of the blame, I don't want to say blame, but you know, some of the blame is on the client themselves, because if you are not upkeeping your enhancements like you should, then yes, they are going to be damaging. And that doesn't matter what product it is, right? If you're not coming back for fills or removals and you're thinking, I'm just going to wear them till the wheels fall off, baby, your wheels are going to fall off. Okay, your toenails are going to fall off, because the thing about it is these enhancements are not made for you to, it's not polish. You see what I'm saying? There has to be some sort of replenishment of the product, or you need to flat out get rid of them, because if not, then they're basically going to be dangling on a thread, and anytime you hit up against something once your toenail grows out, that can particularly that could possibly be a problem, especially depending on the way that people do the service. Okay, so let's talk about that. Tips on toenails. Putting a tip on toenails is absolutely incorrect. That is one of the most wrong things that you could possibly do, because you can see I am doing a set of acrylic toes. It is an overlay with acrylic. Okay, I am laying acrylic over top of her natural nails to give her a shape and possibly a little bit of length, but they automatically look elongated once you square them out, just because, you know, areas that may be missing toenail or whatever, once you get this squared look, they automatically look longer. It doesn't matter. That's usually what happens, right? If you are using tips on toenails, what you're doing is now you're introducing an automatic weak point, which is where the natural nail and the nail tip meet. That weak point is going to allow possible breakage and damage, and I'm going to be honest, it happens about 9 out of 10 times, people who use tips on toenails, they will have some sort of damage or some sort of like catastrophic, my toenail fell off, my toenail is gone. They're gonna have something more like that. Okay, because I'm doing this as an overlay, all I'm doing is putting this on top of what she has. I'm not building an apex, I'm not making them extremely long, right? And when I am doing what is that called, when I'm doing reconstructions, I have to make it a safe length, so that as the reconstruction grows out or whatever we need to do, we go ahead, we fill it in. I attempt to manage that person's growth and what they got going on. But a lot of people who come for reconstruction, a lot of them don't come back because they just wanted a one-time thing, and they end up going back to shops, unfortunately. So if you think about it like that with an overlay, there is no point of weakness because your toenail is all of the strength. This is like permanent polish in a way, right? I'm just putting some on here to shape her toenail, and so that way she has whatever color she wants. Once again, when you introduce the nail tip there has to be some sort of apex to give strength to the enhancement. Toenails don't need strength, okay? Like, they're fine on their own. But once you put a nail tip there, I can guarantee you no one is putting the proper apex needed, because even if you did that, the toenails would be bulkier than necessary, and then that in itself can cause damage, because the more acrylic that you put, the heavier the enhancement, and it's basically bottom heavy, you could say, and it's not a balanced enhancement. So those are some of the reasons why people think that acrylic toes are so dangerous for you. Like, those are the most common, and the top number one that comes out of everybody's mouth is acrylic toes make you have fungus. Okay, sorry guys, I got a little sniffle. Okay, the weather out here is very bad. Oh my goodness. Okay, concentrate. So a lot of people think that acrylic toes is what gives you fungus, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's not true. When people get fungus, right, or they take off their enhancements, they realize they have fungus, a lot of times the person already has fungus, and whoever the nail tech is just putting acrylic on top of it because the client is like, oh, this looks really bad. And you know what I have seen online? There are a lot of nail techs that are doing toe BBLs, and they are putting acrylic right on top of fungus, or they are filing away the toenail that has fungus. And even though it looks like, oh, she got rid of the fungus, I'm going to tell you right now, she did not. You need to see proper medical care for you to be able to kill fungus, because it's not easy. And once you have fungus, a lot of times it's stubborn, it can spread to other toenails. And if you are filing toenails that have fungus, right, all of those bacterial spores are going crazy. They're going everywhere. It's in the dust. So it's settling on things everywhere. And even though a lot of nail techs say, oh, well, I use all new implements, I use new brushes, this and that and other, it does not matter, because all of those bacterial spores have basically been grinded down into dust, right? The nail has been grinded down to nothing. And now you have all these bacterial spores everywhere. So if you're not throwing away the towels, if you're not cleaning the floor properly, it's a lot. And basically you can be transferring the fungus to that old person. So it doesn't matter that you're using a new brush on everybody or whatever, which is very, very costly. I don't even know why you would do that. But even if you are using like, oh, I only use this on her, but the problem is you're still putting that on top of fungus, which you can spread to the client's other feet. Or that brush is being still dipped into your products, because no one ever thinks like, hey, let me just get out some acrylic just for this client. No, you're still dipping in the same jars, which means you're cross-contaminating a lot of things, and that is how people get fungus. It's not the acrylic itself that just automatically harbors bacteria, but it's the cross-contamination of people doing enhancements on top of fungal infections, thinking, oh, it doesn't make a big deal, I can get rid of it, and that is not true. And that is why I say there's a certain amount of education that comes with a lot of these services, because in school they do. Look, I know everyone thinks like, oh, in school, you know, they don't teach you to be good or whatever. No, but they teach you a hell of a lot of information that is applied to your every single day of your life of this career. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. There are a lot of times where I have seen some crazy things, you know, and you can even see on my channel, I've shown a lot of crazy things, right? And it is unfortunate that because people do not put value on education for people in the beauty industry, especially nail techs for some reason, when the stuff that can go wrong with your hands and feet can lead to a lot of different health complications, which can lead you to amputations and different things like that. So I don't even know why, but acrylic toes don't just breed bacteria, and that's not what's happening. right? So like I said, number one, you probably already had the fungus that was going on before someone put the enhancements on you. Or number two, the person put the enhancements on so poorly that it has basically allowed either a lot of moisture to get underneath, because if you like, see how I'm sealing the cuticles and stuff, if your enhancements are not flush and you're not sealing the cuticles properly, you are leaving gaps in areas for moisture to get underneath. Now, normally when moisture gets underneath, it's just going to cause lifting, and it can cause greenies, which greenies is basically like a green stain on the nail, which was a form of bacteria, but once it hits the air, it's dead. Okay. Right? You can get greenies, but in some extreme circumstances, depending on what else is going on, yes, you can breed in an extreme amount of bacteria that can lead to fungus or other infections. So this is why it's important to go to somebody who is properly doing their job and telling you about all these type of things, right? Because this should be a discussion with most of your clients. You want to ask them, hey, what's been going on? What made you get acrylic toes? If you're doing a reconstruction, you want to ask, hey, what happened? Do not be so scared to speak up to clients because you think they will not pay you, that you should be holding back the knowledge that you know. Because a lot of clients are so surprised by some of the stuff that you can tell them that it's like, wow, I had no idea. And if they choose not to get service, or if you have to refuse service, do not feel bad about it, because at the end of the day, whatever's going on with them, you can safely say, I had nothing to do with that. Okay, so let me tell you why acrylic toes are actually safe. Okay, we talked about why are they bad for you? Why does everyone think they're bad for you? No, they're not bad for you. But if you have a bad tech, then yeah, it will get out of hand. So the reason why acrylic toes are actually a safe enhancement is, once again, the tech that you are seeing is what's going to be determinant of, is this a safe thing for me to get, yes or no, right? You need to talk to somebody, talk to a nail tech thoroughly, or rather look through their work and what type of things do they post. I would say you are in safe hands if you see someone that posts about acrylic toes a lot, that posts about pros and cons, because realistically, there are some people that acrylic toes are just not for. If you're a person who is not with maintaining your enhancements, or you can't keep up, then yes, it's going to be unsafe for you, because that means you're going to be trying to wear them until you can't wear them no more, and that's how accidents happen and injuries and all of those things. But if you're a person that is very good with your upkeep, you're going to be following instructions, and you're going to be listening to the advice the nail tech tells you, then yes, this is going to be a safe enhancement for you to go ahead and get. Okay, now I know this video wasn't too long, and this may be already some information that you know before, but I did just want to speak on it a little bit, because on the daily, I am seeing so many techs post all these toe BBLs and these extreme transformations, which is fine. Like, I understand people are going to click on it, but for so many people to be telling them in the clients, like, hey, in the comments, like, hey, this is fungus, why are you working on this, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of nail techs simply just answer with, oh, my job is not to fix the fungus, it's to make it look pretty. But that is causing so many health hazards. And there are so many clients that are so desperate that they're going to let someone put enhancements on fungus. I have had a couple of people definitely reach out to me, and I've had to tell them, hey babe, I don't work over active fungus. You need to go ahead and talk to your primary care physician or your podiatrist. And a lot of people, they don't want their toenails removed because they're having that much trouble. But I do tell them, I know that's not what you want, but if you're having fungus that bad, then you need to go that route. And unfortunately, your toenail may or may not grow back. But if it does, then come see me. Okay, because to be honest with you guys, this stuff is not a joke. This stuff is not a joke. Okay, so, I finally made it through. I've tried to do this voiceover literally 5 times. Every time I could not make it through because I couldn't breathe properly. So I'm very excited that I was able to go ahead and get this through. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is pretty much like an informative type of video. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing anyone or anything like that, but I did kind of want to just break some stereotypes of why people think acrylic is just so unsafe in general. It's not the acrylic, you guys. It is the person who is doing the techniques, and it is the clients who need to upkeep their maintenance. So it is a symbiotic, is that what they call it, relationship, where the nail tech and the client has to work hand in hand for these enhancements to be safe. And that's it, and that's all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you already know, I will see you in the next one.